Did you know that there is such a literary space where reality and fantasy can coexist together? And that literary space is popularly called as Magic Realism, which captivates its readers in unexpected ways. Hello friends, my name is Riya Gandhi and join me as I dive today into the world of Magic Realism, cover some of its key features, its origins, and some of its most important works from UGC NET point of view. What is Magic Realism? Magic Realism basically refers to a type of literary genre in which the setting of the novel is grounded in reality, but the narrator has seamlessly integrated the elements of fantasy or even fairy tale. That is why it is not purely fantasy-based, or is it purely reality-based? It is somewhere in between these two, and that is why it is called as Magic Realism. Like fairy tales, it blurs the lines between what is real and what is unreal, as well as distorts your perception of time between past, present, and future. The concept of magical realism was derived from the term Magister Realismus that was coined for the first time by the art critic Franz Roh in his 1925 book After Expressionism. In this particular book, he used this term to describe a certain style of painting that was in vogue by certain German painters. After that, when it was translated into Spanish, then it started to travel South America, and that's when the Cuban writer Alejo Carpentier got influenced by it. He developed it and renamed it as Marvelous Realism. And then finally in 1955, a literary critic, Angel Flores, coined the term Magical Realism for the first time in his essay, Magical Realism in Spanish American Fiction. He defined it to be a literary genre that is set in reality but combines elements of the supernatural as well as the magical. Now, according to Flores, the first magical realist is Jorge Luis Borges. Why? Because he published a short story collection called as A Universal History of Infamy, in which he has combined these two elements in a similar manner. Having said that, one of the most important features of magic realist novels is that they are going to portray the fantastical elements like levitation or fishes raining from the sky in a very normal manner. The author is quite indifferent as to providing the explanation as to why the fishes are raining from the sky. They are going to intentionally withhold that information and that explanation, which is technically called as authorial reticence. By practicing authorial reticence, they are trying to create that confusion, that mystery among the readers. So as a reader, you will be compelled to let go of your conventional understanding of what a novel looks like by its conventional plot structure or its conventional linear structure between past, present, and future. Second, it is not a purely fantasy-based novel, as I said earlier. That's why they don't need to create a new world. They can incorporate these fairy tale-like elements within the real world itself without providing any information. At the same time, you also need to remember that the plots are very complex and intricate. They are multi-layered, providing multiple planes of reality and multiple time frames happening at the same time. Since the magic realism novels are in between the real and the unreal, they provide the best tools for the authors to critique the society. They voice out the plight of the geographically, socially, and economically marginalized sections of the society. Not only that, but they also provide an alternative, a more corrective version of reality, and that is why they are also known as the subversive texts, challenging the predominant socio-cultural forces. One of the best examples of a magic realist novels that perhaps you can say was a result of the Latin American boom and influenced worldwide magic realist literature was Gabriel Garcia Marquez's 100 Years of Solitude that was published in 1967. According to Gabriel Garcia Marquez, he was rather influenced by Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis, and he said that when he read the first line of this particular novel, he was knocked out of bed. And that's when you read the first line of this particular novel, you'll also feel that your ideas of time, language, and reality have completely been distorted. So what is this first line? Let's read together. The first line is, many years later, as he faced the firing squad, Colonel Aureliano Buendia was to remember that distant afternoon when his father took him to discover ice. So you see, in the very first line itself, past, present and future are happening on the same time frame. And that's why the entire novel that you see is doing the same thing. There are multiple realities, multiple time frames that are happening at the same time. This story is basically of a multi-generational family where the head patriarch has dreamt of a particular city called Macondo, and he is on his journey to recreate that city. Another famous and important magic realist novelist is the Nigerian author Ben Okri, who is famous for his blend of the African traditions and myths with the fantastical and fairy tale-like elements. He is famous for his trilogy centered on a spirit child called Azaro, who is existing between the spirit as well as the human worlds. This trilogy basically begins with the Famished Road, for which he received the Booker Prize, followed by the Songs of Enchantment, and ends with the Infinite Riches. Ben Okri is a perfect example of an author who uses magic realism as a tool to reflect upon the post-colonial experiences and identities. And how does he do that? He basically blends Yoruba mythology, which is the most famous African mythologies and traditions, with the Nigerian life to reflect and deliver the African post-colonial experience. A similar parallel can be drawn to Indian English literature as well. Indian authors in English have also tried to use magic realism to reflect upon India's post-colonial society and tradition. One of the most popular and globally known Indian authors who has achieved it is Salman Rushdie. His Midnight's Children, which was published in 1981, has proven to be a watershed in the post-independence development of Indian English novel. Divided into 3 books, this particular novel basically centers on the story of Salim Sinai, who is born at the exact date and time of India's independence, which was August 15, 1947. This book has also won the Booker Prize. And how is Midnight's Children a magic realist novel? It is a magic realist novel because it is narrated in such a manner as if it seems that it is similar to the orally recounted folktales, and it is also quite similar to the orally recounted Arabian Nights. In this particular book, what Salman Rushdie has done is that he has adopted the Indian linguistic elements and Indian words into the English language, what he calls as the chutnification of English language. Other important Indian works in English which can be categorized under magic realism genre and are very important from UGC NET point of view are Arundhati Roy's The God of Small Things, Raj Kamal Jha's The City and the Sea, and Vikram Chandra's Red Earth and Pouring Rain. If you want to understand these works in detail, understand the contributions of these authors in detail, and get a quick overview of the history of Indian English literature, you can register for my 1-hour masterclass on Indian English literature. In this exclusive 1-hour masterclass, I will be providing a quick but detailed overview of the history of Indian English literature, discuss some of the most important and famous Indian authors, writers, poets and their works that are frequently asked in UGC NET English exam, solve PYQs with you, and provide certain essential tips and strategies that help me crack UGC NET English exam in just first attempt. Here's how you can register for the course. Click on the link that's provided on your screen or on the description box below. When you click on this link, you will be directly guided to the page of this course. You can select your timings and schedule as per your convenience and just confirm your slot. You'll also find other details related to the course for your reference. The best part about this course is that similar to all other courses of mine, this course is also a live one-on-one session, which means that in this session I can also provide you personalized guidance tailored to your needs and requirements, trying to fill the possible gaps in your overall UGC NET English exam preparation journey. So don't wait anymore, register now because seats are limited. That's it for today's video, folks. If you found this video on Magic Realism informative and helpful, please like it and share it with other UGC NET English aspirants. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any videos that I will be uploading on such important topics and concepts related to UGC NET English literature in the future. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next one.